And I know there are different ways to do it. I know people that have purchased. I also know people that have leased. I've never really thought about leasing until I've seen you lease the building. I don't know if you give any thought to purchasing, but what was the advantage of trying to lease it versus actually trying to purchase it?
So, like you said, with the leasing part of it, as long as you know the square footage and you can know the square footage per dollar, then you can kind of know how you're going to build out your invoices or what you're going to charge. And you automatically know that once you get the information from the landlord. But with far as like building, of course you can do it, but it's just going to take you a longer time. If it's going to be a single unit, it's going to be multiple units, you know, so it's really kind of the different things that kind of associated with you doing either you're going to build it yourself or if you're going to be in the leasing. So like I say, that is really the main thing as far as like knowing your square footage, what the square footage is, and then knowing how many people you can get in there, and then you can know what you can charge, you can see, you know, what your fixed costs are and what you can make some profit.
Gotcha. So understanding the square footage of it, knowing what you can charge. With that being said, leasing, you know, leasing potentially is a better option for somebody to get started. If you're looking at, and I know everywhere is different because everywhere charges different rent based on location. On average, what would you say somebody need in terms of capital to get started in the event space industry?
So the good thing about an event space, it's a blank canvas. You want to be able to get into an event space, leave everything as normal as possible. Like, you know, your walls want to be white. You want to just rent some tables and chairs. But what that lets you do is you don't have to pretty much install commercial equipment and, you know, things far as the people to cook and things like that, far as industrial. So that lets your build out be pretty affordable. So I would say just to build out and equipment and, you know, not equipment, but like tables and chairs, the investment should be around between $30,000 to $50,000, and it really depends on location and how much square footage it is. But from that point, I think you definitely can get an event space open.
Gotcha. What are some of the, I guess, what's that cash flow like, man? Let's just get right to it.
Right.
So let's break down the union, bro. Like, what is the rent? What's your overhead? And then what's that cash flow look like?
Exactly. So just to say rent is around $3,000 a month. And each event can be between $1,200 to $1,500 an event. So, you know, we try to cap our events out at between 4 to 5 hours. So on Saturday and Sunday, we try to get 2 events in, you know, from 12 to 6, 7 to 12, things like that. So the main goal is to try to get 15 to 25 events. And if you can stay in that price range, then like you said, you look at that, you know, if you do the numbers, you know, if your rent's $3,000, you don't really have a lot of expenses associated with it. You know, you have your common stuff like your utilities and things like that. If you have a house manager, we kind of do a lot of things ourselves because, you know, it's not a really large space. So, you know, you can be between $10,000 to $20,000 in the black profit. It's really going to be on you, your space, and, you know, what month it is as far as what people are booking.
That's what's up, bro. It sounds like that damn event space is definitely a play for cash flow. And it's something that if you find the right location, you got the right branding, and you got all the right research, you can really, you know, make some good money in that event space. I get calls all the time about, do I do event spaces and different things? You definitely have the knowledge and the game for it. You got the blueprint for it. So my idea to you is, let's come up with a course and a program to show people how to actually get it going.
Okay, that sounds good. I definitely, like I say, step by step, it's definitely a market for it. You can put them anywhere. It's kind of like the gym. There's always a need, so that sounds good.
So y'all stay tuned. You heard it here first on the Geno J podcast, here with my boy Renard Ross. We are coming out with an event space course, and it's gonna give y'all the blueprint from start to finish, all the pitfalls you need to avoid to be successful. So stay tuned, man, it's coming soon. So I know as an entrepreneur, man, you try a lot of different things. As as myself, I've tried a lot of stuff, and sometimes you try 10 things before you get that one thing that hits and be successful. We've talked about the Fearless Athletics on your success with that, the event space success, but tell me one of your failures. Like what have you done in the past, whether it's a business or whatever, what have you failed in?
Yeah, definitely, man. I actually purchased a franchise. It was called Sweet Charlie's. It was rolled ice cream. At the time, I just thought it was a great idea. When I first seen the concept, it was like 2018. It was just open here in Georgia, and I used to go every weekend and take my kids. So I was like, man, this is it. I see the margin. I know we can do it. But then when I inquired about it, I was not able to open up any offices here in Georgia. I'm from Alabama, so I'm like, whatever, we'll take it to Alabama. So I ended up opening up a franchise, Sweet Charlie's, the ice cream shop in Alabama. And I let my father and one of my business partners in Alabama, I let them pretty much run the show. And I said 2018, right? So we opened 2020. And what happened? COVID hit. Boom. COVID hit. And I mean, what can we say? I mean, everybody went through the same concept. You just don't know. Every day was a challenge, you know what I'm saying? And that business failed. I ended up having to close the doors. I have everything in storage right now. And I'm thinking every day of what I'm gonna do next with that equipment because I still have it. But that was really, you know, it was a time where we all as entrepreneurs, we all were going through it. And to have a business on top of that, knowing how you're gonna pay the employees every week, how you're gonna be able to keep the power on, you know, all those different things are coming up daily. And like I said, that was really a tough time. And those are the times you have to kind of go back and rely on everything that got you to that point. All of your positive thinking, all the affirmations that you've done, everything that you've done as far as your self-improvement, as far as reading, you know, so you have to implement those things at that time. You're not reading them just to be reading them. You're reading and storing this information to be applicated. You have to be able to apply them to your daily life. So those are the times I had to rely on all those things that just keep me going. And I truly can say that it made me a better person. You know, made me a better man all the way around because, you know, when you as an entrepreneur, you wear all the hats from maintenance to CEO. So only thing you can do at that time or in those times is rely on your training. And like we about a few minutes ago, if you're an entrepreneur and you talking about I've been in real estate for 2 years, you're telling me that story. I'm like, 2 years, you're still a baby, you know? If you're an entrepreneur, you got to think about it in the terms of being a doctor. How long does it take to become a doctor? That's the same concept you need to look at when you're being an entrepreneur. And you may probably need to add another 2 years to it. If it takes a doctor 8 years, then you probably need to add 2 years before you become the master or the expert in that field. But once you become that, hey, the sky's the limit. You're going to be paid your value, not hourly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, hey, keep pushing, focus on your goals, and you'll become the expert and the master one day.